Welcome to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network with your hostess, Jen Josie. Join like-minded real estate investors and accelerate your business towards greatness. You will hear step-by-step strategies for success, interviews with real estate rock stars, and we will dig deep into past projects where we bear it all, including the good, the bad, and some just plain ugly. So get excited. Here's the bestower of badassery herself, the real Jen Josie. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi, and welcome back. I'm Jen Josie, creator of RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Whoop, whoop. On today's episode, we have two guests that will be sharing one of their past projects. We will let you decide if it was good or bad or just plain ugly. But before we begin, here's today's badassery bestowment, my little badass gift to you. Today's topic is the benefit of joining your local chamber of commerce. To form business connections within your immediate community, the best place to start is often your local chamber of commerce. The quality and involvement of local chamber organizations can vary from city to city, but many of them provide professional development, networking opportunities, and tons of marketing resources for local business owners. To be a member, you do have to pay a membership fee, but membership allows you to add their logo to all your marketing material, from postcards to websites. This Chamber of Commerce seal will not only raise your credibility, but also show future clients that you truly support your community. So, contact your city's commerce department to learn how you can join your local chamber. Now, on to today's episode of the Real Estate Investor Growth Network podcast. We have with us my new friends, Chris and Christy Garrison. Chris Garrison started a disaster cleanup and restoration company over 4 years ago, and it now operates as a 7-figure business with 15 employees. He runs a Facebook group called Bigger Vision that has mastermind meetups twice a month. He is co-founder of Defined Equity LLC, which specializes in multifamily assets. The Queen, Christy Garrison, is CFO of Absolute Cleaning and Restoration. She managed client relations and investments at a multifamily office and has 9.5 years in banking. She is the controller at Defined Equity LLC, handling all accounting and HR duties. I had the pleasure of meeting these two recently at a real estate investor retreat in Cancun. Be jealous. They are so much fun. I'm honored to have them here. Welcome to the show, Chris and Christy Garrison.
Thanks, Jen. It's a pleasure to be on. There was a lot of networking and a lot of drinking and a lot of laughing that took place in Cancun.
There was.
It was a great place to meet you.
And today we are recording on October 15th. And Chris, it's your birthday. So happy birthday. Thanks for spending it with me.
Yay.
I'm honored.
Thank you.
Yes. And I'm going to say, Christy, when I first met you all, we were sitting behind you and you had your hair up in a big bun on top of your head. I could not see the damn stage. I'm like, girl, stop moving around.
Yeah, the Cancun didn't do good with my hair while I was there. It was bun the whole time.
Well, you guys were a blast, and I'm honored to have you on the show. So give us a quick little background about what you all do. I want to hear about this restoration company.
Yeah, so my father had a restoration company, and he operated it in a very small capacity. When I was 14, 15, a part of that disaster cleanup restoration company, there was carpet cleaning, and he pretty much let us take the van, schedule the cleanings, and he was teaching us a good entrepreneurial mindset with that. So I knew there was money. I got a lot of training through several years of working that with him. He moved on into real estate. I moved away, did some sales positions, and then I came back and said, this could be a good company that we can retire on and will help us launch into other endeavors. So that's how we got into the restoration company. We do a lot of insurance work, disaster cleanup for water, fire, mold. When the tornadoes come through and there's storm damage, we go in and clean up and protect and cover with tarps on the roofs, and then do the dry out on the inside. And then we also do floor cleaning and duct cleaning as well. And that's kind of the bread and butter in between the disaster cleanups.
And you two just had an anniversary about a week ago. So what anniversary was it?
Our third anniversary.
Third.
It's an active week.
Yeah.
It is.
So we got married 2 days before his birthday. So we got to celebrate in Vegas, our wedding and his birthday. Exciting him.
Awesome. So Christy, then you came along because I know you have your background in banking and you're a controller. Vance was a controller for several years as well. And then you guys got together and combined businesses, or tell me how that worked, Christy.
Yeah.
Or
So,
Chris.
Yeah.
I saw the asset, her, and I was like, I need her in my company. And what was your feelings about it?
Yeah, I mean, it took me a while because I've always been independent and, myself, and I'm self-made pretty much of everything I've done in my life, in my career. So when he asked me, it took me a while to make that decision. And I went to my bosses and told them, what I was expecting, and gave them a year notice to let them know that, I was going to be leaving because I loved my job and I learned a lot there. So I felt that I would be an asset here and I could give some value. So I was excited. I wouldn't turn back and do it again. It was great. It was a great decision. Scary, but good.
Yes. And I, like Chris, also found a controller and accounting person because those are my least favorite things to do. So I was like, oh, this will be a perfect combination. So
yeah.
Bravo.
We thought he was organized until I came along and I was like, no, you were not.
So where are you all from? Where do you live?
We live in Tupelo, Mississippi. I was born in Alabama, Mobile, Alabama. And then I moved a whole lot when I was a kid with my family. But when I was in fourth grade, we settled in New Albany, Mississippi, which is about a 30-minute drive from Tupelo. And then Christy has pretty much what?
Yeah, I was born in Nettleton, Mississippi, which is about 20 minutes from Tupelo. And then when I graduated, I moved to this area. To Tupelo. So it's not but a 20-minute drive because it's just a bigger city than where I'm from. So, and I've been living here. So.
Well, I asked you all to be on the show because you are doing something that is so smart and not many people are doing it from what I understand. And you are snatching up multifamily properties, but your most recent one was a motel, correct?
Yeah.
So I was like, I have got to hear about it. And then we started talking in Cancun. I'm like, wait, save it for the show. I want to hear all about it. So we are Facebook friends now since we returned, and you have like a couple more on your plate too. So you guys are rocking this out. Tell us the whole idea about buying motels and what are you doing with them?
So, when COVID hit and everything shut down and people stopped traveling, these motels and hotels really suffered. I know locally some of our hotels actually would turn some of the floors electricity off because they had no guests and it was just killing their profit margins. So they were going in the red every month. We were able to, we actually heard it from networking and real estate where others were starting to utilize the motels and hotels, convert them into studio apartments. And so we kind of sought out after the motels in particular. 50 doors and above is what our goal was. And we lucked up and found some really nice assets that we were able to put a vision together and change them into long-term leases so that we could get the evaluation of the property higher. And there was a huge upside in it.
So you have your restoration company. Did you flip houses in between, or did you do any other real estate investing outside of this restoration company?
Yeah. So actually our first house together, that was a foreclosure purchase, and we remodeled it pretty significantly to the point that we were happy living in it. But it was a smaller house. It was a 1,400 square foot house. And we've got 3 kids. So with this third child that was being baked. And Christy,
Baked.
we said, we've only got 2 rooms, additional rooms, so we need a 3rd room. So we really needed a 4-bedroom house. So we put that on the market and sold that last year. And before we sold it, we found another foreclosure, 2,700 square foot house, did a full gut job on it. It's got 5.5 acres. And so we got it remodeled, moved into it, sold the other. And that's the 2 residential flips that we've done. They've been personal, lived in homes. So that was a good experience, though, learning how to pick them up off the foreclosure market through the courthouse steps, and then what it takes to actually do an extensive remodel on a residential home.
And knowing the profit that you can make off of it, because we did really good on our first house. I mean, we kept costs low, and we sold the house in 5 hours and got over asking price.
Wow.
So it was nice. Yeah.
That is amazing. Have you guys done any formal education for flipping?
Not for flipping. It was, I guess just the background in business really kind of set us up for success there, and having the construction knowledge. So it was just a matter of, I buy here, I'm going to spend this much, and it's going to be worth this much. What's the spread, the gap between what I'm in this property for and what I can sell it for?
Well, that's how it works. I mean, awesome. Good for you. That is amazing. So let's hear about this motel. How does one find a motel to buy?
So that's pretty cool conversation there, because we had just started our partnership in Defined Equity, me and John Crutchfield, and we decided we were going to go after multifamily, but we also decided that this was going to be a lifestyle business. We did not want to be extremely active in it, because he has a single family own and operate business already, and then I've got the disaster cleanup. So we sought after an acquisitions person, and part of his interview process was to bring us a deal. So he hopped on LoopNet, where the deals go to die. And this was an owner listed property on LoopNet. If you don't know what LoopNet is, it's an MLS. And it's mainly for multi-unit and commercial properties. Yes. Right. So he reached out to the owner. The owner had just went through a contract where they weren't able to close because of financing. And he spoke to him for a little while. He said, look, I'm really looking for a cash buyer. So at that point, he passed the information on to my partner, John. John gave him a phone call, spoke to him on the phone, negotiated him down from his asking price. And then this was located in Iowa. We're in Mississippi.
And so, how far away is that from you?
It's a 2-hour flight. So we scheduled a time, got some verbal confirmation that he was not going to contract it with anyone until we got up there. So within a couple of days, we set our flight. We were on the site, and we walked through every unit. We were able to see what we were dealing with. That was our due diligence. We spoke to the city, because that's one thing you got to look at with this motel to apartment conversion is the zoning. So we checked with zoning and made sure that they were okay with us utilizing this asset as an apartment asset instead of the motel version. And they were. City was very easy to deal with. And at that point, that's when we decided to go ahead and put it under contract. And we negotiated the price down there on the property to $375,000. So $375,000 for a 54-unit motel.
What?
Yeah. See, that's why we were like, let's put a little sweat equity into this, and the upside is going to be tremendous. So
54 units.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
They average a little under 300 square feet, and you walk in, you see the bedroom, you see the refrigerator, and you turn a little nook off of it, and there's going to be the kitchenette and the bathroom. The bathroom is private. Everything else is wide open.
Wow. So this was a motel. So I'm guessing you have to add these kitchenettes.
Yeah, so think of your traditional motel with the brown furniture and the double queen bed, and then they've got the one king bed rooms as well. So we're going in and we are going to add electrical so that we can add a cooktop. It'll be a two burner cooktop and then a vent hood. And then we're going to also wire up an additional circuit for the refrigerators, because right now they use the mini fridges and we want a full fridge since this is going to be a long-term lease apartment style situation. So a little bit of electrical. All of them are on a conventional flooring, which was really surprising. And it's got like a 4-foot high crawl space that you can crawl through. All of the utilities are ran through that area, so it keeps us from having to bust up any concrete and have that extra expense to run the electrical. So it'll be an easy conversion. We just have to purchase appliances, cabinets, paint the walls, light fixtures. We're ripping out the old green carpet and we're going to put in LVP, the vinyl plank flooring, and update all the colors to a good neutral gray tone.
Wonderful. And how much is that going to cost?
So we budgeted $10,000 per door.
Okay.
So we're looking at $540,000, and we're definitely going to be underneath that. But when we did our underwriting on the deal, we wanted to make sure that we had plenty of room for error. So realistically, I think we're going to be around $7,000. We're still active in this process. We've only had this deal closed for about 3 weeks now. So it's a very early in the deal, but the uniqueness of it is the reason I wanted to talk about it on the show with you today.
Absolutely. So how did you fund this deal?
So we actually reached out to our network, those that like, know, and trust us. And we found private investors. Some came in with $25,000, some came in with $50,000. And we raised $400,000 to take over the purchase of the property. We're giving our investors a 10% interest rate plus a 10% bonus when we return their money. Their money will be locked in for about 16 months, which is what it will take for us to be able to rehab and then take it to the bank and get a long-term financing situation with the refinance cash out. We'll pay the investors back at that point, and we'll be able to have full ownership in it.
So it is currently still working as a motel, correct?
Yeah, so we're going to go to we've got a community bank that's analyzing it right now. That's where we're going to get our rehab funds. Plus, we'll get some of our purchase funds as well, because we're asking for $1 million line of credit. So we'll have that money, and we'll probably go ahead and pay some of our investors' capital back to them once we get the bank. But we had to close in 30 days to grab this property at the price we did, and we had to come in as a cash buyer. So that gave us a great advantage to get a discount. So it's operating currently as a motel. It brought in $27,000 last month. So we're going to phase our project, our rehab, so that we can keep the cash flow. We need about, I think it was 8 rooms rented every night of the month for us to have a wash and not be in the hole any. So we're very fortunate that we've got that cash flow coming in as the operation of the motel.
That is crazy right there alone, that you are flipping this property, but there's still people that are going in there and renting it nightly. So what does it rent for nightly?
$55 a night.
Okay. And you said it just needs 8 people a night. So what's the average that's staying there right now?
The average right now is somewhere around that. We're going into slow season.
Okay.
So the average probably will be between 5 and 8. Okay. We're hoping for the 8. There was no advertising. It had bad reviews when we purchased it. So we are doing some marketing. We're letting the city know. We're doing more internet marketing to increase our reach, and then to also help us out on our reviews. So I feel like the 8 will be very achievable, even though we're going into the slow season.
And tell me about the property. Where is it located? Near anything major? Is there a pool on site? Is there laundry on site? Like, how does all that work?
Yeah, so there's actually a 3-bedroom apartment that's attached to the office. It's behind the office. There's a 2-car garage that's attached to that apartment. And then you've got the 54 guest rooms. This all sits on just shy of 4 acres, and it's 4 individual buildings. So that's why we're able to phase it in and it not be an issue with our guests.
So smart.
So the location is New Hampton. And here's what's funny about this project. Our biggest red flag was the population. It's a 4,800 population city. It's 2.5 hours away from Minneapolis. That's the biggest metropolitan location next to it. And it's about a 45-minute drive to a couple of other cities that sit around 40,000 in population. So it's got good economic anchors, several different types of manufacturing companies there. So we checked all of that out in our due diligence because we wanted to make sure that we weren't buying something that was going to be unrentable because there was nobody to rent.
Right.
So we were very happy after the due diligence period. But yeah, we're going to add laundry to the garage area. We're going to turn that garage into a laundromat for on-site. It'll also be open to the public.
And so a money generator.
Yes. So commercial real estate, the way it gets evaluated is different from the single family. Single family, you look at what your neighbor's house sold for. With commercial, you're looking at the revenue, and that revenue is going to dictate what the overall appraisal price is. So we want to make sure that our net operating income is as high as possible. Adding coin laundry is going to increase that. And then we may keep some of the vending as well. Right now, there's vending available since it is a motel, so that is a good possibility. And we probably won't utilize the apartment. We will probably use that as on-site management living situation instead of renting it out.
So in the end, we're estimating this project's going to take, you said 15 months?
16 months. 16
months.
Mm-hmm.
And how much can you rent these individual units for at that point?
So we're going to rent them for, we underwrote it at 650, but we're going to actually be able to rent them around 800. So it's utilities included for a studio apartment, 1 bed, 1 bath, and 800, maybe even 850, but we're shooting for 800 right now.
Wow. That is amazing. So all said and done, how much are you looking at bringing in per month?
So I got the totals. I'd have to do the math to break it down per month.
Well, go by the totals then.
Yeah. So this thing will be evaluated at $2.1 million.
Woo! And you paid $375.
Yeah. Yeah.
My God.
Why we flew all the way to Iowa for this deal.
Wow.
So, but that's the power of commercial real estate. It's all in how it's operated. So you can get very creative with it. It's very scalable when you're talking about multifamily. And, we didn't even calculate the coin operated laundry. We didn't calculate anything additional, just our $650 per unit on rents. And yeah, it's incredible, the upside there.
Wow. And who's doing the work? Who's going to manage all that?
So there was an on-site manager that was not performing well. We immediately, when we got it under contract, we put out advertisement for new management. We hired an incredible manager we're calling her project manager until the current management is gone. So we didn't just come in and fire. We're letting them work their way out. And it's helping the new hire manager. So our project manager eventually will be on-site management for that asset. And she's overseeing the contractors that are going to come in. We're giving her a very good guideline and system of this is what we want done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 step. And then she's calling the subs up, the contractor up, getting the bids, running it by us. We're giving the approval. So we're acting very high management with it. She's definitely handling all of the heavy lifting, and she's ecstatic at the opportunity to be able to transform this, what was kind of an eyesore for the community, into something that's going to be very respectable. So there's a lot of pride that she's able to grab from this project, her being in the level of ownership that she is.
And I bet the community is so grateful for you coming in and doing this, and with your partner as well.
Yeah, we've had a lot of feedback from the community, positive feedback.
That is amazing. So another quick question about the financing. So you had just a bunch of people, because typically when you flip a single family home, you have someone in first position on the deed, and then you have someone in second position. So here you're kind of pulling the money. So how did you run that with, and how many investors did you have? Or do you have?
We have 3 investors on it. We didn't have any. There's no collateral, so it's an unsecured loan that they're giving us. They signed a promissory note.
Okay.
We signed a promissory note, and it states that their money will be returned within 24 months. They understand verbally that we're shooting for the 16-month, but shit happens, and we want to make sure that our assets are covered. So
cover your assets.
That's right.
Very good.
So we got the 24-month time frame, and it just stated, hey, you're getting 10% interest while we have your principal in play, and then once we give you your money back, you'll get an additional 10% bonus. So basing off 12 months, that's a 20% return on their money. It's very hard to find. I don't know anywhere else you can grab that. So yeah, they were excited about it. And you know what? You give more up front, and then they're going to come back and they're going to redeploy their capital with you on your next project, and probably bring more to it because it has such a good experience on the first one.
Final question here. How are you going to rent it? Are you going to do short-term rentals? Are you going to do long-term rentals? How's that going to work out?
So our plan is to do 12-month leases, just like a traditional apartment complex. But we do have a backup plan. Don't ever go in with just one option, have multiple options, right? So the backup plan is to be able to do like an extend-a-stay version, just like these extend-a-stay motels. So we'll rent them weekly or monthly if necessary to keep us full, because the goal is to have 100% occupancy so that you've got that revenue coming in. So we'll see how the lease up goes on the 12-month, and then if we still have some vacant properties to get them immediately filled, we'll start doing the extend-a-stay style. You won't have the change of linens daily or anything like that. We've already got on-site staff. There's already a washer and dryer, commercial size because of its operation as a motel. So we'll be able to function like an extend-a-stay if that's necessary.
And there's a lot of money to be made in the short term. So that is so awesome of you all to have that as a separate option as well. And I have seen on Facebook that you are actually looking at more and more deals coming up. So how many more of these on your plate do you have?
So 2.5 hours away, we have a property we'll be closing on the 28th, and it is a motel. It is a 44 unit, and it'll be the same process. And now it's not in quite as good a condition as our 54 unit, so we'll have to spend a little more money on it. We budgeted $15,000 per door on it in rehab cost. And the purchase price, again, is very impressive. It's $365,000, and it will also be bordering that $2 million mark after we're done.
Oh my goodness. And how'd you find that one? LoopNet again?
Yes. Where deals go to die, we have found 2 of them that have just been incredible deals.
We actually put an offer on a property in on the coast in North Carolina that came from LoopNet. It fell through, but yeah. I'm telling you, that's a little untapped resource right there.
Yeah. It really is. And these were owner listed, not a broker listing it. And it really made for a lot of opportunity.
So Chris and Christy, what you all are doing is amazing, because not only are you providing affordable housing for these communities, but you're providing work for the work that needs to be done. People have to go in and do all the repairs. You are beautifying the community. I think it's amazing. I appreciate you all sharing this so much on the show. And that's why I was like, hold it. Don't tell me anything I want to hear about on the show. And it was so worth the wait. So thank you for doing that. And the second, or do you have anything else you want to add?
No, that's it. We appreciate the opportunity because these are really exciting projects. We're excited to see where we're at 16 months from now, and the smiles on our investors' faces when we sit there and pass them their principal back plus the 10% bonus on it. And
that too, you're growing people's retirement accounts. Some people, they have their money sitting in savings account, and you're just growing it for them at a pretty rapid rate for 2 years. Yeah. So very impressive. Yeah. The second half of the podcast, what we do is, and it's clear you both are badasses, but I use the acronym BADASS, and I want to hear, the first letter is book. What is a book that's made a huge difference in your life?
Go ahead, Christy.
My two, I put two down, Leadership Courage and Monday Morning Leadership. We hired a business coach last year, and those were the first two books, and it changed my perspective a good bit. So we actually wound up giving the Monday Morning Leadership to all of our team members here at our restoration company because I felt like it would be beneficial to them as well. So it just makes you look at it. You just keep pushing, and it'll eventually come.
I am not familiar with either of them. I have to check both of them out. Awesome. Yeah. And who's your business coach, by the way?
Well, he's not anymore. We've actually gone through three. So we've got two that are still in our network that we still utilize. One is Charlize Latour. She's here locally with Celebrate Your Success. Is it Celebrate Your Success? Accelerate Your Success. That's her company name. And then
that's a lot of C's in there. Accelerate Your Success. Okay.
And then Scott Hannes, he's out of Ohio, and we met him through our mastermind, multifamily real estate mastermind group, and he came down and looked through all of our systems, and he's been a resource as well. So, man, we just, it took a lot of work to get us to where we're at.
Yeah, they were all for different things. I mean, the one who gave us the books, he was one geared towards our restoration, one was geared towards our hiring process and our team members, and the other one is more HR. So, I mean, every single one of them's been different of what we needed them for. So,
but the important thing here, especially for the listeners, is that you all are investing in yourself, and you are getting people to teach you things that, just to sharpen your skills. And I think that's so important. So shout out to your coaches, and clearly they're doing a great job with the two of you. All right. The first A in BADASS is advice. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Take massive action. Grant Cardone. I got on his videos on YouTube a few years ago, and that has been what has transformed my life, is just taking massive action. Without it, the process is a lot slower.
That is so very important. And I coach real estate investors, and there are times where I'm like, just take action, and they are stuck in that analysis paralysis. So this is a learn as you go type business, and excellent advice there. Thank you for sharing that. The D in BADASS is drive. What drives the Garrisons to be successful?
Well, mine is personal achievement and gratification. I mean, when I achieve something, it just gives me satisfaction on myself because I pushed to get there, and it took everything I needed to do for me to get there.
And I'd say the ability to live life the way I want to.
Yep.
And not have those restrictions.
Absolutely. I got to ask, how did you all find, so I met you in Cancun at the TAB retreat, which stands for the absolute best, and it's run by a good friend of mine, Terry Thayer. How did you all find the TAB retreat?
I was online, and I'm in Tim Brott's mastermind.
Okay.
He was a speaker there. He posted it in his network. And then Javier, he was also a speaker there, and he had posted it as well. And I followed both of them on Facebook. So I had thought about it when I saw Tim's post, and then about a month later, I saw Javier's, and I went ahead and clicked the button, and I said, "Hey, Christy, we're going on this trip."
Literally at dinner, I'm buying this trip. I was like, okay, we don't know anything about our schedule, but okay.
It was awesome, though. Didn't you guys have a great time?
A fabulous time. It was, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I'm glad I got to go too.
Yes. Awesome. All right. The second A in Badass is aspiration. I'm a big goal setter. So what is a goal you guys are working on?
Well, me personally, I'm working on raising private money. So increasing my private money investor network because we just cannot scale as fast as we want without partners on the money side. Christy, what's yours?
Mine's perfecting systems and disconnecting from the daily task. I want to find the right people that will take over these small daily tasks so I can, and that's why I want the system, so they know what to do and we can scale to where we want to be and get those right people in those positions.
I am so there with you, Christy, because all day long I'm doing tasks, mundane tasks, and I'm like, yes, this shit just needs to be passed on to somebody else. So,
delegation.
Absolutely. And Chris, I want to go back to you about, you were saying, raising more money. What if somebody's listening right now and wants to become an active part of your investments? How can they reach out to you?
They can reach out to me through Facebook, through Instagram, through LinkedIn. Just search my name on Facebook and LinkedIn, and then Instagram, it's my name plus my birth year, 84.
Birth year. I'm so old.
So I'll remember I'm 37 today. I feel old.
I'm 11 years older than you.
And wiser, though.
Yeah, much wiser. Yeah. So what is the best type of investor for you? So if somebody's like, I don't even know what to do, what are you looking for in an investor?
I'm looking for the investors that have money that, first of all, they want a secure investment to put their money in. Me personally, I do not feel like the stock market is. I mean, we've seen it dip tremendously. And then I read a statistic that the stock market produces about 6% on average, but by the time you cut all the fees that are taken by the brokerage, then it's really about 3%. Well, inflation, until this last couple of years of all the money printing, inflation has been around 2.5%.
Right.
So you're not making hardly any money with those types of investments. I want the person that's got it sitting in CDs, money market accounts, not pulling in hardly any interest. Matter of fact, they're losing money right now if that's where it's sitting because of inflation.
Right.
And I want to give them that opportunity so that they can get massive returns. We even have some projects like the one we're closing on the 28th. That project's going to give ownership in the property plus an 8% interest rate while their money's in play. So their money gets given back to them. They earn interest on it, and then they still have an equity stake in that property, that partnership and ownership of it. So they get all the tax benefits, they get the cash flow benefits, they get the refi proceed benefits. That's huge. They don't have to do anything. They don't have to learn how to analyze deals, how to source deals, how to operate deals. They can literally just put their money into the deal, and it doesn't take a lot. I mean, we have investors that are at $5,000 and they're still getting great returns, and it just allows them to build up from there.
That's amazing. And I bet there are people listening saying, I have got to find Chris Garrison. They have some money to burn. So excellent. Thank you for sharing that. All right. The first S in Badass is systems. What are systems that you have in place to help you achieve success?
SOPs, standard operating procedures, process and procedures. Everybody calls them different.
This is the controller speaking, everyone.
Yes. I'm all about lists and stuff. And then, of course, we have SMART goals, which some people call them KPIs. So they know what to achieve and what to look forward to. So when they don't meet those goals, they know why they're getting written up or what we need to work on. So we have an improvement plan to do going forward. Say, hey, you're not meeting this. Why? What do we need to change to get you to do that? So that's what we're working on. We've got it pretty nailed down, but there's always changes. So.
And mine's a little more personal. Like I guess she's more of an integrator. She's able to put those systems a lot more methodical in her and systematic in her processes. I see that big picture and I'm like, let's go get it. So for me to keep that drive, my morning routine really sets me up for success that day, because I have to stay very motivated to push and to be able to produce massive action. So going to the gym, a portion of meditation first thing in the morning, going over my affirmations and my goals that I've set for that year for the next 3 years. And then I'm going to tag on to what she said, building the system so that we can hit those goals.
That is awesome. Have you read Miracle Mornings?
Yes.
Okay. I actually got to sit in a webinar with Hal Elrod, and he said my name. I was like, oh, Hal Elrod just said my name. By the way, Hal, if you're listening, I love you. Be on my show. All right. The last S is success. What does success mean to the Garrisons?
Well, mine means financial freedom, because, my life changed when I had my daughter. Of course, he has 2 outside of our marriage, and I love them as well. But my life changed when I had a daughter. So everything in my life changed. So I want to be able to be at everything, experience all the moments. I am a very family oriented person. So that's my home to me. So I don't want to work all the time. I want to grind it out right now and get it done, but I want to vacation. That's when we first met. I told him, I have to be guaranteed 3 vacations a year. It's my sanity. And that's no joke.
She's just a little bougie.
I love it.
But, we have a yin and yang, and I bring him down to earth, and he needs the space as well sometimes, and we work well together. So I think that's why our marriage is perfect in my opinion.
Wonderful.
That's always moving for me. So I would say daily achievements, because that's why I get up in the morning and do the gym. That's an achievement. It sucks going to the gym, but once you're done with it, you're like, I feel so much better. So hitting those daily achievements, and that allows me to hit my long-term achievements. But success is constantly moving. So I have to remember the daily success, and that way I hold gratitude and I can function in the capacity I need to.
Well, I love it. I appreciate you all coming on here and sharing all of that crazy, awesome idea of buying motels and turning them into apartments, the apartment conversion. I think it's amazing. Super, super smart. Thank you all so very much. I'd love to have you back on the show sometime. And maybe once you sell it, 2 years down the road, or, do whatever you do to it. So thank you all. That is it. Thanks for listening. And we will catch you on the next episode. Now go out there and share your badassery. And don't forget, make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye. Whoop, whoop.
Thank you for listening to RAIN, the Real Estate Investor Growth Network. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. If you need more badassery, you can follow Jen Josie by visiting therealjenjosie.com or become a member of RAIN by registering on rainmastermind.com.